The Phillies hit a home run and the ball went into the stands, and the ball landed kind of in front of this group of people, but there was a scrum to grab it.
What if I told you that Megyn Kelly just exposed the biggest lie in viral baseball history? What if the woman everyone's been calling Phillies Karen isn't who the internet thinks she is? And what if Kelly's explosive commentary revealed that innocent people had their lives destroyed while the real culprit walks free? When Megyn Kelly breaks down a story, you know it's about to get messy. But this Phillies Karen saga is more twisted than even Kelly could have imagined. It started as the perfect birthday moment. A father at Lone Depot Park catches Harrison Bader's home run ball and hands it to his 10-year-old son Lincoln. Pure baseball magic, right? Wrong. Within seconds, a woman in a Phillies jersey storms over, gets in the dad's face, and demands the ball back. She's screaming, pointing, completely unhinged. The dad, probably trying to avoid a scene, actually gives her the ball. The kid's birthday dream just got snatched away on live television. The internet did what it always does, it went nuclear. Within hours, the clip was everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, everyone was calling her Phillies Karen. And the memes were ruthless. But here's where things get really dark. The internet mob thought they found her real identity. They were dead wrong. Meet Cheryl Richardson Wagner, a completely innocent woman who became the first target. Internet detectives were convinced they'd cracked the case. Screenshots of her LinkedIn started spreading like wildfire. People were calling her employer, harassing her family, sending death threats. The only problem? She had absolutely nothing to do with this incident. She wasn't even at the game. But the damage was already done. Cheryl's life was turned upside down overnight. Her employer started getting calls from angry fans demanding she be fired. Neighbors were whispering. Strangers were recognizing her on the street. All because some keyboard warriors thought they were Sherlock Holmes. The harassment got so bad that she had to speak out publicly, posting on social media that she's actually a Red Sox fan who's never even been to a Phillies game. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the internet found their second target, Leslie Ann Kravitz, a school teacher at Hamilton School District in New Jersey. More harassment, more threats, more lives destroyed. The school district was forced to issue public statements defending their employee, confirming she wasn't the woman in the video. But by then, the mob had already made up its mind. That's when Megyn Kelly decided to pour gasoline on the fire. Her show picked up the story and turned it into a national debate about more than just baseball. Kelly wasn't just commenting on the incident, she was exposing the entire broken system of internet justice. Her panel was discussing baseball etiquette, parenting styles, and whether the dad should have stood his ground. But Kelly herself seemed to sense something was off about the whole narrative. Rich Lowry laid down what he called the golden rule of baseball. Adults step aside when kids are involved. Charlie Sykes admitted he would have handled it differently, saying there's no way he'd let anyone take a ball from his kid. But Kelly's commentary went deeper. She questioned whether we even knew the full story, whether the internet had rushed to judgment too quickly. Her instincts were right, but by then it was too late. Kelly's show amplified the story, but it also inadvertently highlighted how quickly social media can destroy innocent lives. While her panel debated the ethics of the situation, the real bombshell was brewing behind the scenes. The woman everyone thought they'd identified wasn't even at the game. Kelly's platform, intended to discuss the incident, became the stage where the internet's detective work was about to be exposed as completely fraudulent. Kelly's commentary gave the scandal legs it never should have had. What started as a viral sports clip was now primetime news. The story wasn't just about one woman's bad behavior anymore. It became a cultural battleground about entitlement, parenting, and how we handle public confrontations in the social media age. But here's the twisted part. While innocent women were getting their lives destroyed, the real Phillies Karen was probably watching it all unfold from the safety of anonymity. She sparked this entire firestorm and then vanished into thin air while others paid the price for her actions. The false accusations exposed something really ugly about internet culture that Kelly's commentary would later address. These online detectives were so confident, so sure they'd found the right person. They shared photos, workplace information, personal details. They organized harassment campaigns against women who had never done anything wrong. And when their first target proved innocent, they just moved on to the next one like it was some sick game. The harassment escalated beyond anything Kelly's panel could have predicted. People were showing up at Cheryl's workplace. Her employer was getting hundreds of calls demanding her termination. Social media accounts dedicated to tracking her every move popped up overnight. Someone even created fake LinkedIn profiles using her name to spread more lies. The digital mob had turned her into public enemy number one, and there was no escape. What made it even worse was how the harassment spread to her family. Her children's school was contacted by angry strangers. Her elderly parents started getting threatening phone calls. Complete strangers were driving past her house, taking photos, posting her address online. This wasn't just internet bullying anymore, it was real-world stalking of an innocent person who just happened to look vaguely similar to someone in a grainy baseball video. Cheryl Richardson Wagner fought back hard, but the damage was spreading faster than she could contain it. She didn't just deny being at the game, she provided ironclad receipts. Social media posts showing she was elsewhere that night. Photos proving she's a lifelong Red Sox fan who wouldn't be caught dead in Phillies gear. Security footage from her workplace showing she was there during the game. Bank records, phone location data, witness statements, she provided everything. But facts don't matter to an angry mob. Even with overwhelming evidence of her innocence, the harassment continued. People accused her of faking the evidence, of paying people to lie for her, of being part of some elaborate cover-up. The conspiracy theories grew more absurd by the day. Some claimed she had a twin sister who was the real culprit. Others insisted the timestamp on her photos had been doctored. The mob had invested so much energy into believing she was guilty that admitting they were wrong felt impossible. She changed her phone number 3 times. She considered moving to a different state just to escape the nightmare. Her lawyer advised her to sue for defamation, but that would only keep her name in the headlines longer. She was trapped in a no-win situation, punished for a crime she never committed by people who refused to accept the truth. The Hamilton School District had to get involved when Leslie Ann Kravitz became the second false target. They issued official statements, held press conferences, did everything they could to protect their employee. But the damage was done. A teacher's reputation was dragged through the mud because she vaguely resembled someone in a grainy video. Meanwhile, professional investigators and fact-checkers were doing actual detective work. Snopes investigated the claims. News outlets reached out to verify information. Every single identification attempt fell apart under scrutiny. The real Phillies Karen remained a ghost while innocent people suffered the consequences of her actions. The Phillies organization tried to create a happy ending by giving the boy a signed bat from Harrison Bader himself. Sweet gesture, but it didn't fix the bigger problem. The internet had already moved on to destroying lives based on hunches and grainy screenshots. This whole saga reveals how dangerous viral mob justice has become. We're living in an era where anyone can become a target based on circumstantial evidence and crowdsourced detective work. These weren't professional investigators with training and resources. These were random people on the internet playing judge, jury, and executioner with other people's lives. The scariest part? The real Phillies Karen is still out there. She successfully triggered one of the biggest harassment campaigns in sports social media history and walked away completely unscathed. While innocent women dealt with death threats and job security fears, she remained protected by the very anonymity that her victims lost. Megyn Kelly's commentary, while entertaining television, amplified a story built on false premises. Her panel debated the ethics of a situation where they didn't even know who the real players were. They turned speculation into national conversation while the wrong people were paying the price. This isn't just about baseball etiquette or one woman's bad behavior. This is about what happens when social media mobs replace actual justice systems, when screenshots become evidence and hunches become convictions, when innocent people's lives get destroyed because the internet needs a villain. The father and son got their signed bat and their moment of fame. The real Phillies Karen disappeared into the crowd. But Cheryl Richardson Wagner and Leslie Ann Kravitz will be dealing with the aftermath of this false identification for years to come. Their names are permanently linked to this incident in Google searches, their reputations forever tainted by something they never did. The next time you see a viral video that makes your blood boil, remember this story. Remember that the person everyone's pointing fingers at might be completely innocent. Remember that behind every viral villain is a real human being whose life can be destroyed by a screenshot and a hashtag. The internet got it wrong, but the damage was already done. And somewhere out there, the real Phillies Karen is probably laughing at how she pulled off the perfect crime, destroying multiple lives while keeping her own identity safe. That's the most infuriating part of all. So what's the real lesson here? Maybe we should stop playing detective with people's lives. Maybe we should demand actual evidence before we destroy someone's reputation. And maybe, just maybe, we should remember that viral videos don't tell the whole story. Because sometimes the person everyone's calling the villain is actually the victim.